Hi, and welcome to the 10-Minute Food Truck Training Podcast. My name is Bill Moore. I am a food truck business coach and author of Food Truck 101, Beginner to Winner. This podcast is all about helping you start and grow your food truck business. All this week, I'm talking to Chef Skylar out of Texas. He is owner of 3 different food concepts, and we explore his unique vision for the food vending industry. Our topic today is all about a food truck owner needing more skills than just being able to cook good food.
Imagine what's possible when learning doesn't get in the way of life. At Capella University, our game-changing FlexPath learning format lets you set your own deadlines so you can learn at a time and pace that works for you. It's an education you can tailor to your schedule. That means you don't have to put your life on hold to pursue your professional goals. Instead, enjoy learning your way and earn your degree without missing a beat. A different future is closer than you think with Capella University. Learn more at capella.edu.
That's exactly the same things that I'm seeing. You know, the creativity, what I refer to as limited time onlys, where you're starting a product with a definite end time. So it's going to be something that's going to be different than what's normally on your menu to encourage people to come try out new foods, different foods. And then if it ends up being successful, you keep it on the menu and dump something that's not selling as well. The food truckers need to always be looking to how they can be better, better quality food, more nutritious food like you've been talking about, and it's got to be delicious. It absolutely has to be. Since we're talking about food trucks, why don't you give some advice to people that are getting new, like the three folks that you just saw the other day driving down with new food trucks? What would you tell them if they were going to pursue their dream? What would you tell them?
So I think from my own experience, what I would tell them is that, and again, in no specific order, right? If you can cook doesn't mean they will come. So you got to figure out a way to make food and at least test, and I'm just going to speak strictly to my experience, right? I quit my job, well-paying job. I was in between jobs, and when I decided this is exactly what I'm going to do. But I had specific data. I knew that I had a list of loyal paying customers who were willing and able to buy from me time and again. The first thing is that, I'm pretty sure the people who were driving those food trailers, they already made that decision, right? But I'm actually going to step even one step back. I'm going to say, hey, I am a career person, or I quit my job because of pandemic, or I'm retiring and now I want to pursue my lifelong passion of food, which, I think that we don't have enough good food trucks anywhere. We may have a lot of people doing it, but we still. So I think the first is realize what your mission is, why you are going in this business. And it has to be more than just, hey, I want to cook good food, or I know how to cook good food. And to me, that is the number one, is why you are going to go in this business. Because that why, the deeper that meaning is, the more important it is going to be for you to be able to find those customers who understand why you are in business. When I quit my job and I did this, I was making all these global cuisines and whatnot. And people wanted, and I'm like, I want to bring in the flavors of the world from my travels. So a lot of my customers are like, they connected to that because they want to eat that Greek souvlaki kebab made with authentic spices that I have learned. They want to eat the Adana kebab or the Beti kebab. They want to eat the most traditional Indian dishes being prepared uniquely to Northern India from where I grew up, to the spices, because they want to taste those global cuisines. They care less about who Chef Skylar is at that point, rather than, hey, this is the dish. So you got to figure out what your mission is. And that why will dictate, why you're going to be in vision. Then you got to figure out what your goals are, And your goal could be, so for me, my goal, when I started my pizza business, I literally had just 7 people buying from me, specifically pizzas. So my goal was, I'm going to go from 7 families to 100 families in 6 months. And all I ask of them is that they are going to buy from me at least once. At any given time, 10% of my 100 families should be buying from me 2 days a week. And that's how I was like, okay, you know what, if 10 families buy every week, and those 10 families buy 3 pizzas at $20 each, so I'm getting like 10 times 60, $600 a month for 6 months. That's my goal. So have smart, specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, timely objectives, because if you don't have a goal, if you just and quite honestly, I have been guilty of not having a goal. I still get carried over my creative side and like, oh, I'm going to go and test this keto bread that I really want to make. And quite honestly, we have a keto, like right now we have almost snow or sleet coming in North Texas. So I went and I made this wood-fired keto bread, which is not offered on a lot of my menus. I'm like, so I get carried over. So don't carried away by your creative side. Have specific goals, have the mission as to why you want to get into this business. Then go and do proof of concepts. Test, and test. Get your friends and tell them to give you an honest opinion. Tell them it will not hurt your feelings if you make a dish and it doesn't taste well. My grandfather told me that, the general pattern told me that the more you sweat in peace, the less you bleed in war. Ask your friends to make you sweat. Because guess what? The paying customer, and especially in this business, they don't like it. You lost your customer forever. And so test, make it customer driven, learn proof of concepts, So you got to be honest with yourself that can you cook the food that your customers want and are willing to pay for it and are going to come, because at a second, like these days, everybody got their DoorDash app and their Uber Eats app and this and that. So in a matter of fraction of milliseconds, and I know it because I'm a data expert, I'm a market research expert, that I have done a lot of market research in terms of the apps, building the websites, the technology part of it. People have less than 3 milliseconds of time span before they decide they want to eat a burger or a pizza on Uber versus DoorDash app. So if you're not able to capture that, then you don't have a business, because you can invest $100,000 in food truck, but if there's nobody willing to buy, then that $100,000 is just, that's it. So you got to test, engage with your customers. So I think that those are and then once you have your mission, you have your goals, you have your objectives, you have tested, and you have a customer base who's willing to test, that you can go out. Have the tools, have the website, have a blog, have a social media platform, have an Instagram account. I mean, these days I like to say we have the information overload. And quite honestly, it can be really overwhelming for a food trucker to do it by themselves. Like I have been doing technology for almost 20 years, building websites and whatnot. Even I'm overwhelmed. So I can only imagine for people who are not. And, but when I had my website, now I upload all my photographs to my website. I created a blog because a lot of my customers were like, Chef, how do you make this? How do you make that? How do you make this? Now, if I was just a food trucker, I'm like, I'm not going to tell you my recipe. Why should I tell you? You have to just come and buy food from me.
Right.
But I had a mission of actually helping my community. So I actually put those recipes over there. But then I told them that if I make it, that I have been making the same recipe for 10 years versus if you just mechanically make it, don't expect the same taste, but this is what I put it, right? So having, and you don't have to have a blog, but at least, have, let's say, an Instagram account, or let's say have a website, or let's say take good photographs, right? So, I mean, have a way to communicate to your customers, and for the customers who are not there, your food does the talking for you. I'm the kind of guy, personally, again, for me, it's my food, my product does the talking. I'm not a marketing person. So I wouldn't be like printing flyers and pounding the pavement. This is what it is. I'm like, the food does the talking. So you will always hear, I have 100 families, I have 200 families, they know, and they are my loyal fans, and they come and they eat from me because my food does the talking. So I think that's another aspect of what you can do. And so slowly you do this, now it really depends on and the reason why I'm breaking these steps down is because you got to figure it out. And the beauty of all of this is that we have a wonderful group out here. Bill is so helpful, and everybody else. And I see stuff, Lauren, I don't know her personally, but I know she is in Houston and she does a lot of good stuff. I just feel connected to her and a lot of other people, because I don't know her. I may never know her. But if I go to Houston, I will for sure definitely, want to stop by, have a chance to, buy her food, support her in any way, because there is already a connection. So, and the reason why there is a connection is because food truckers, in my opinion, again, we are viewed as larger than life. You got to have that enigmatic, crazy, creative, goofy personality that people want to connect to, but we can connect to, but at the end of the day, you're going to get business from repeat customers.
Yep.
That's what I learned, so if you don't have repeat customers, there's only so many new customers you can get. Yep. So I think that's what it is.
Tomorrow, we're going to talk about technology and technology's connection to guests. Thank you so much for listening to the 10-Minute Food Truck Training Podcast. If you find all the information helpful to your business, please consider becoming a monthly supporter of the podcast. Just hit the support button or follow the link in the description. Every little bit does help keep us going. Join our Facebook group. It's called Food Truck Training. We got a whole bunch of awesome members at all different levels, from brand new beginners to decades-old veterans. When it comes to helping you start your business, we've got your back. And again, thank you for listening. Come back tomorrow because I got plenty more to say about the food truck industry.